Hi and welcome to Movies Suck. Yet again I find myself on bounding into comics, having a little bit of a peruse, and I came across this story. Aquaman star Jason Momoa takes heat for sharing a fanboy moment with Mel Gibson. Now, this is a bit of a strange thing, isn't it? Why would he take heat for, meeting Mel Gibson and going, oh my god, it's Mel Gibson. He made Mad Max. He made Lethal Weapon. He made numerous great movies. He is a fantastic director. Who wouldn't be chuffed at actually meeting Mel Gibson? All right, he's had a little bit of a trouble in the last 20 years, with his drinking, which has been mostly what's caused the problems, and the fact that he made Passion of the Christ and got a bit pissed off at Jewish people. But hey, we all have our little troubles to bear. It's not the end of the world, is it? That is, unless you're, kind of delicate, bit of a snowflake, you're the sort of person that doesn't like to actually forgive people for when they make mistakes, then obviously you're going to have problems. But let's read the story. So, Aquaman star Jason Momoa was criticised after he shared a photo of himself with fellow Game of Thrones alum Peter Dinklage and Braveheart actor Mel Gibson on Instagram. Jason Momoa shared a fanboy moment with fellow Game of Thrones alum Peter Dinklage as he met up with action director Mel Gibson. Momoa shared a couple of photos with him, Dinklage and Gibson to his Instagram. It was a fun moment for Momoa, and he made it clear as he wrote, "Icon, legend, Mel, you made my childhood. Amazing Mad Max, Martin Riggs, William Wallace, in my opinion, an even greater director. Thank you, sir, for Apocalypto." All perfectly fine things to say to Mel Gibson, although William Wallace, Braveheart, good movie, historical accuracy, not so much. But, nevertheless, what is wrong with just meeting Mel Gibson and pointing out all the great things he's done? It's not like the few bad things he's done, which, well, let's face it, kind of personal things for him on the most part. We just took these personal moments from his life, made them public, and then went all insane about them. Because we all have moments from our life, if those moments were made public, that would probably make people hate us. I'm fairly certain that if people went through my life and heard every single thing I'd ever said, they would find plenty to inflame them and make them try to cancel me. But Mel Gibson was a great actor. Mel Gibson is a great actor, a great director, a guy who I would like to see a lot more of because he just made great movies. Unlike the sort of bollocks you get these days. Not that everything these days coming out is bollocks, but we can all register the fact that the bollocks ratio is somewhere in the region of 80% these days. 20% good, 80% utter tripe. So, Momoa added, "And yes, anything you need from me, I'm fucking in, Mel. Good to see you, as always, Peter. You always light me up. Love you, bro." Nice to see them getting on so well still. So the post received over 1.6 million likes, but quite a few people were not happy that Momoa was taking photos with Mel Gibson. Here are a few of the comments blasting Jason Momoa for taking the photo with Mel Gibson. Mile High Spider-Man wrote, "Oh, this ain't it, buddy." This ain't what, buddy? Okay, I couldn't say that is definitely a comment saying no, this is bad, or this isn't bad, or this is just gibberish said by some idiot over the internet. Let's move on a bit, shall we, to someone who actually has some sort of, ability to speak in joined up sentences. MD6276 wrote, "Let's also not forget the anti-Semitism that he is famous for expressing. Love you, but this is truly not a good look." Okay, so he's expressed some anti-Semitism in the past, and whether he feels that way still or not is hardly relevant for you now, is it? What's relevant here is his achievements, and they are many, especially compared with probably you, MD6276. Mel Gibson is a very cool guy, and yes, he has made mistakes, but is that a reason to ignore him and pretend he doesn't exist forever? This has been going on for far too long already. Just Starlight wrote, "This makes me ill." Why? Because you're a fucking snowflake, you tosser. Because you don't have the internal strength to deal with the world as it is, to meet people you might not agree with, to have other people agree with people that you don't agree with. These things happen. It's the world we live in. Get over yourself and get over it. Jesus Christ, people, grow up. Matthias CBS wrote, seriously, putting a sexist, anti-Semitic and racist on a pedestal? You mean you're upset about a guy being drunk and talking rubbish? Because that's what drunk people often do. And as far as I'm aware, Mel Gibson only did that sort of stuff when he was drunk. You know, when he's drink driving, getting stopped by the police, calling his ex-girlfriend or current wife or whichever it was, and rambling down the phone to her about how pissed off he is. Because he's drunk. He's not thinking straight. I'm sure that he must have some underlying issues with Jewish people, you know, what with them murdering Christ. But that's obviously not how he lives his normal life. I'm sure he in his normal life has no issues with Jewish people. Just like most people have no issues with Muslims, even though some of them go around blowing up innocent people and murdering children. You're being a fucking snowflake. Okay, Delay Relay wrote, I'm not sure your wife would feel the same about how great Mel Gibson is. And Right Meow wrote, so it's okay to be cool with Mel Gibson now. Okay, it is okay to be cool with Mel Gibson now. I don't know anything about Jason Momoa's wife. I'm sure his wife is a very nice, sensible person who doesn't just like to hold things over people's heads forever and ever and ever, or try to make people disappear, blank them, never talk to them again. I'm sure she is a very nice person, and just like Jason Momoa is a very nice person, and it's probably why they do so well together. It's probably why they're together. Great minds think alike. Buffalo55TX wrote, glad to see anti-Semitism is alive and well. Exactly what about what Jason Momoa wrote there was about anti-Semitism? And how does what he wrote make it alive and well? What you're saying is that Mel Gibson embodies anti-Semitism? He is anti-Semitism? I mean, if this is true, all we have to do is never go to America again, or Australia, wherever Mel Gibson is living at the minute. And then, no more anti-Semitism anywhere. We're fine. You can go anywhere. As long as you don't go where Mel Gibson is, no anti-Semitism. You're a fucking retard. Chrisanna Renee wrote, wait, I thought Gibson was cancelled. He said and done some awful things to the LGBT community, minorities and women. Did he? Really? Are you sure he hasn't done lots of good things for them, as well as, you know, had a couple of phone calls recorded where he ranted and raved because he was drunk? Get over yourself, Chrisanna. You're not that important, and what you're thinking is kind of irrelevant these days. It's been a long time since the last time he was caught doing any of these things. I think we can all forgive and forget and get on with our lives and let him get on with his life and make some more great movies which we would all like to see. I'd have loved to have seen him back in the character of Mad Max. That would have been fucking amazing. Max Rokotansky deserved to come back out of retirement. But instead, we got the remakes of Mad Max. I'm not saying that they were terrible or that they weren't worth making, but it would have been better to have had Mel Gibson back one last time. That would have been a better thing. But hey, water under the bridge. I'll forgive and forget those movies. You forgive and forget Mel Gibson for things he said in the past. Get over yourself, it didn't involve you in the first place. As many know, Mel Gibson is a star and major player in his own right, starring in Mad Max, Braveheart, The Patriot, Lethal Weapon. He directed Braveheart, The Passion of the Christ, Apocalypto, and Hacksaw Ridge. While he had his successes as both an actor and director, he also had some personal demons made public. Yes, he did. Back in 2006, the actor was arrested for drunk driving. During the arrest, he used some choice words with law enforcement, including anti-Semitic and racial comments. Well, you know, when you're being attacked by, although in this case he wasn't being attacked, he was just pissed off about people, you tend to use whatever is their most defining characteristic and use that against them. That's just a normal thing, and I would never hold that against someone, especially when they're drunk and a bit off their head. But that wasn't the end of Gibson's woes. After his divorce from longtime wife, Gibson engaged in a volatile relationship with Oksana Grigorieva. She had later accused the star of both verbal and physical abuse, to which the actor pled no contest to one count of misdemeanor spousal battery. Gibson would then complete a sentence of 3 years probation, 1 year counselling of domestic violence, and 2 days of community service. After completing his sentence, his conviction was vacated. So, he did something bad, he paid the price, we move on. That's what you do in life. You make a mistake, you move on. You see someone else make a mistake, you don't hold it against them for the rest of their fucking life. You see it, you forgive it, if it's forgivable. Not every single mistake is forgivable. I mean, there are paedophile rings in Britain who I will never forgive, and should I ever meet any of them, let's hope I don't, would have trouble allowing them to go by me without having something to say or something to do, should I ever actually recognise them. But that's life. But on Mel Gibson's case, he's done nothing that bad. He's just a guy trying to get on with his life and do the stuff he loves to do, which is make great movies, whether he's acting in them or directing them. And we should all allow him to get on with this stuff. God's sakes, Hollywood fucking needs the help. Anyway, Jason Momoa next stars in director Denis Villeneuve's adaptation of Frank Herbert's Dune. Momoa plays Duncan Idaho, a fan favourite of the franchise and the only character to appear in all 6 of Frank Herbert's Dune novels. Good for him. I'll be interested to see it when it comes out. For the moment, this is Movies Sucks In. It is better to forgive and forget than to let all that rage boil up inside you forever. Signing out. Leave a like, share, subscribe. I'll catch you guys on the flip side.